This is Mushroom Wars 2. We're here on Xbox Series X, taking a look at this really interesting RTS experience that is actually quite a lot of fun. So I played this on PC originally back in the day when it first released, and then I saw it was coming to console and I was like, oh, this is really quite cool. This is a very interesting title. So what you're doing is kind of improving your little army, battling forward, upgrading things, and then attempting to eliminate your opponents along the way. Now I've got like easy bot set up because, well, it's pretty grueling, like gameplay wise. It actually can be quite difficult. I feel that the tutorial is also quite long, but no, it's got like a lot to it. So on Series X, we're not getting anything too spectacular in regards to, like, you know, performance and everything like that. It's 1080p. It's not optimized or anything. I think it's like 60 FPS. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of what we're dealing with on this one, which is fine. I mean, it's a simple kind of RTS thing with like a ton of troops on the battlefield. I'm sure you kind of get the idea of that just from seeing the gameplay, but yeah, that's basically what this one is. And from there, you've got very lengthy campaigns that you can do. There's online multiplayer, you can do 2v2, you can do kind of like free-for-all. So there's actually like a lot going on in this one, gameplay-wise, and I think that's quite neat, and actually keeps this one to be very engaging. So hopefully this multiplayer kind of shows things off well that we're kind of presenting here, but yeah, that's what I'm talking about, is like this one can be really brutal gameplay-wise. You know, the AI obviously has a lot of issues with me, and they are trying to absolutely annihilate my efforts on this one. But yeah, it's like this aggressive battle to expand your stuff, and there's like hero characters that are present. So we should probably, yeah, we're gonna put the little kind of thing on there, because this is not going well. But yeah, you kind of keep building up your troops with these different bases, and you try to expand your territory. There's a lot of deep strategy. There's 2 really extensive campaign type missions that you can take part in, which is quite neat, and it's just kind of a really engaging sort of experience that's present here, and one that offers a lot of challenge as you continue to expand your territory and take things over. So you can just play these skirmishes kind of like over and over again as you try to, you know, kind of win and battle, but then there's that campaign, and then there's online multiplayer and local stuff, which is cool. And yeah, I am gonna lose my main fortress here. That is just fantastic. So we can't really lose a means of production, otherwise we're kind of screwed here, but we're gonna lose that tower. Feels like the AI is just kind of like ganging up on me here almost. Even though it's supposed to be a free-for-all, it certainly doesn't feel that way. But yeah, you kind of just take up these territories, you battle, you use your heroic abilities to kind of give you a hand and everything like that, and it's just like a fun, quirky, intense sort of RTS game, which can be quite difficult. Seriously, this one definitely has quite a difficulty edge to it, and that's kind of what makes it, to me, quite intriguing, is just like it can be fairly brutal if you are trying to get things going. Wow, they actually just took all those troops out of there after I send those guys in. That's great. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, there we go. Let's send another little group of troops off. But yeah, you can see the little armies. You're kind of just building up these like spurts of like characters and stuff in order to expand your territory and take over new areas. It could get really aggressive and intense. Usually in the campaign, at least for the tutorial bit, you definitely have a lot more info context. But yeah, I remember playing this one being like, it's got a lot of content to it, but yeah, there's some challenging stuff. And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm kind of like double tapping on bases to kind of improve them every so often, so they're like upgraded so that we could take more. I'm assuming the AI took some level of mercy to me, because that's why I'm not like dead yet, which is kind of funny. But no, it's actually kind of a charming little cute game. Cute but vicious, because, well, you know, there's intense combat going on here. It's a mushroom war, right? Like this is war stuff going on. It just looks delightfully enchanting. And there's some like really intense cinematics in this one too. And as you can tell, you can send out different like varying levels of troops to take places, and you can see how there's like fires going on. it's kind of neat. And then some levels, like even here, you could see that there is like a forge going on. It looks like they are kind of rallying up their troops. I don't really like that. Yeah, it looks like they kind of, because you can take these forges and these, like, you get extra benefits for having them. So let's see if this helps at all. Kind of hoping to take that close base back. They're on fire. We could do this, guys. But it's cool, and there are a ton of levels in this. Like, an absolute ton of levels are present within this title. Like, you could just spend hours and hours kind of sitting here working through all of this stuff. Like I kind of mentioned with the tutorial where I was like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff going on here. That's kind of the case. See, now we lost that position. And we're going to lose this one too, aren't we? Take it back, guys. Although it sucks not really having anything, since we've got like no troops left. We're just getting absolutely dominated out here. Like, look at the big mushroom thing. I'm basically up against a person that has like 300 mushroom kind of like token characters, and I'm like, I've got 30. Ugh. But yet, like, red and orange just seem to like absolutely refuse to battle one another. So that's interesting. I don't know why they don't just finish me off. It must literally be an AI thing where they're like, oh, well, we'll do some mercy here or there, and it's just like, this is brutal. They're just like waiting to destroy me after they take out their red people, enemies or whatever. Just nuts. So yeah, it got multiplayer, it's got a campaign that's like super long, 2 big chunks to it, and then, you know, of course, there's like skirmishes where you can have like 2v2, different bot level difficulties, depending on what you need. It really does have a lot going on for it. I think we've definitely got an issue going on here, where we are going to have problems. And then there's different towers that can do different, like, attacks. Look at this! Look at this! That is just nuts. I need to set up a different scenario here, because this is just a loss. So this is the 2v2 scenario, so this should be hopefully giving me a hand here. But that's what I was saying, is like, this game has like a brutal kind of layering of difficulty to it, which I find just really to be quite interesting. But yeah, there's also different win conditions that are present, and there's, like, you play the skirmishes, there's like 30 different maps or something. It's kind of ridiculous, but they just give you a lot of value here gameplay wise in terms of the different scenarios you can kind of do. I think that's really quite neat. I guess we're like on the same team, right, too, so we're actually doing, like, this is neat because the just like kind of the different forces kind of at play here. Because we're basically going up against one another in our quadrants. Like, is that one going to get attacked by that one? And we also don't know how many troops we're going up against, and it's just like this squadron-based, like, combative thing. It's just like, it's really neat what this game kind of sets up, if that makes sense. Like, just the way the combat is kind of layered here is just really quite fascinating. So it looks like we're going to be losing that one. And then you try to build up troop numbers, and then you're getting attacked from other places. It's just really quite fascinating, actually. This whole game, to me, is just really, really neat. So we got these two, and then we want to get this one again. Yeah, and then you're just in this, like, kind of never-ending long-term battle where these creatures are just going at it. It's a really neat take for an RTS, to be honest. Like, it's just kind of like little microbes almost fighting, but it's the Mushroom Wars! Nobody expects this kind of action in the Mushroom Wars. But it is a brutal scenario where only death follows. Okay, they are, okay, we're pumping that one up. There's almost, like, too much going on, some would say, just in terms of this map, like, sending folks, like, everywhere. But that's what it is like, deep layering strategy within this experience, and to me, that is quite cool. That they've set up this kind of game, and, you know, it's just, like, a really neat title, because it's quite different from other RTS experiences. Okay, maybe we should just go, like, I don't know, 75% on that one or something. I like what this has to offer. I think it's kind of fun. If you do sit there and you kind of work through the campaign, you'll just be like, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on here, right? Like there's lots of things for you to do, lots of different scenarios for you to work towards. To me, that's kind of neat. Oh, and that one's getting attacked. We must send aid. And you're just trying to like take these positions over and hope everything goes alright as they're taking yours. It's just like, it's kind of really frantic action, even though it doesn't seem like the type of RTS that would be like really intense action, but yet it totally is. Because look how fast paced this is. And then, you know, we also have like the hero abilities and stuff. That I find quite interesting. And then you get these like huge waves of like troops going across the battlefield. Oh, they're going to that one. That's not good. We gotta start making some moves. Build up this empire. Wait, did they take these lower ones from us? That's not good. It's like almost hard to keep track of who's reinforcing who and who's losing what. Okay, let's try to take this corner over. And then you can also like upgrade too, so I want to get this to like a tower. You need like 30. It's just like there's so many layerings to this one, and then you go through the tutorial, which again takes forever to do. But I think you learn a lot gameplay wise in regards to how, you know, kind of the combat is and what you're supposed to do to like really advance in this one. It's quite neat in that regard. It's just kind of a cool little crazy game where you're just gonna be like, there is a lot of mayhem going on, and that's the fun of it, is just the insanity of trying to keep up with building like your forces and everything like that. I find it quite neat and rather engaging and just absolutely wild. I don't know why we're beefing that one up, but I'm trying to like expand my kind of like bases, but also like I've got so many troops, it's time to just get going here, you know? It's time, the time for action is now. Take these positions. I don't know, I really like RTS games, so when I find like weird ones that are a little bit different, I kind of like almost like latch onto them a bit. Like I could sit here for just a really long time kind of playing this and just being like the ever-growing struggles of trying to build like this mushroom kingdom. I find that to be really cool. Oh, we won! So yeah, I'm kind of just awaiting almost for a third entry to come. I imagine with it being on consoles now, they're probably at least gonna work on that eventually. So this is like a three-way split with a different kind of map battle thing going on here. So it's a little bit of a different combative scenario going on in, you know, comparison to what we were doing prior. And then we're in the snow, so that's a variable too, is the weathering kind of thing as well. That sort of changes things up slightly. They're attacking my home base, you monsters! I've only got the one. That's what I get for trying to expand my influence. You're supposed to attack at the right time. Oh no, the freeze is... Oh no, they're ignoring me to go after green or something? I don't know. It's kind of intense because you don't really have much for bases in this, right? You gotta hope the freeze doesn't come in and... See, there's just like all these little variables to the combat. It seems like a simple game, right? Like you look at it and you're like, oh, it's kind of a simple title. Maybe there's not a whole lot going on here, but there actually is quite a bit to this game. And to me, I find that to be kind of a rewarding aspect of this one, is just... I sent 2 of them? Yeah, probably not the best of ideas to send 2 there. I don't know, I think you could just find it to be quite rewarding with the challenge and the gameplay style that's present here. It's always got some twists, it's always got some turns. You can think things are going well, and then there'll be some kind of like little aspect to it where it's like, oh, maybe not. And that's the intriguing part of this one, is the constant battle for kind of like, you know, controlling the realm, winning the match, taking out your opponents. That's what's interesting about this one. And striking when the time is right to build your mushroom empire. Mushroom wars. Right? It's just kind of like, I'm just having fun with it. That's what this is all about, this game. It's just kind of like the fun RTS element, but also like the grueling part of it where it's like, huh, this isn't actually that easy going. There's quite a battle going on in this one. And that's the conflict, taking positions, battling, and trying to win further in this intense combative RTS. So again, campaign, online multiplayer, regular local multiplayer, it's got it all.